Good morning, my dear students. My name is Pulleys, Assistant Professor, JIS College of Engineering, Department of Mechanical Engineering. And today discuss the hoisting equipments of materials handling papers. And this is my lecture number 27. And the hoisting equipments. Basically, the hoisting equipments are usually powered equipments used for lifting and lowering units and varying loads intermittently. And this will be the certain equipments where the lifting and lowering, shifting of the loads can also be accomplished within an area known as the reach of the equipments. And basically the materials handling equipments, we have to the transfer of materials, that like you have to require for this the lifting and lowering, and also this like required for this the shifting of materials from the one place to this the another place. And the few cases we can see the few the hoisting equipments also will be required, just like the few hoisting is the required for this the transfer of materials from the one place to the another place. And another things is essential for transferring materials. And another things, the primary functions of hoisting equipment is transferring through lifting and lowering operations. Lifting and lowering operations will be done use the hanging conditions, the materials will be transferred. And sometimes we have to see the different type of the materials, different type of materials can be transferred during to this the ropeway systems, and also the bucket conveyor systems. And this ropeway and the bucket conveyor systems and hanging equipment also will be here. And similarly this will be some hoisting equipments can be stationary, and the portable or traveling types also will be considered according to the hoisting equipment. And the past parts of hoisting equipments, you can say the few hoisting equipments parts are available. And suppose the chain, the wire rope, the chain or rope drum, the pulleys, the lifting attachments like the hooks, grip, etc. is concentrated according to this the parts of hoisting equipments. And just like the chain conveyor, the belt and ropeway conveyors, all things your concern according to what the hooks will be essential, and ropeway wire rope also will be essential, and also the sometimes the chain will be seen, and chain rope drums is concentrated. And these parts also will be discussed in this the letters. And according to this, the chain and chain sprockets, the type of chain used in hoisting equipments are welded load chain and roller chain also will be available. And the welded chain is creating during the used in low capacity hoisting machines is here. And where the load will be the lower, that like the suppose you have to consider required for this the hoisting of your materials, then you have to use the welded chainer. And just like the suppose the hoist and the hand operated cranes etc. is considered during toward the low load type of materials is the transfer. And sometimes you have to see the during to the hoisting required, this will be upgraded, and also this will be transfer your materials from the proper way. For you have to consider the welded chain are manufactured by joining one gap of individual chains like by hammer hoist forming increased strength. And during to the hoisting, now the hoisting welded chain is transferred during to this the low load. And also this will be sometimes considered according to this the forging operations will be there, this will be increase the strength. And another things, the advantage of welded chain, and a few advantages are available during to this the welded chain. The welded chains have their flexibility in all directions, like the you have to movement during to this the all direction. There is a no locking systems will be here. And for this this will be movement according to your choices, the any directions you have to can be movements your these materials. And this will be advantage on this the the welded chain. And another things, the possibility of using small size pulley and drafts. And basically this will be using the small size of pulley and drums will be used. And this will be the no difficulties is arise. And also this is the any directions and the any positions you have to holding your materials during to this the welded chain. And another things the drum is used during to this the movement of materials for this the flexible chains. And another things the simple design and manufacturing process is essential. The knot will be required for this highly qualified technical persons also will be required during to this procedure of the welded chain. And knot will be the complicated design is here. This is the knot is the more complicated positions also will be considered that this will be manufactured the any people. And a few disadvantage is comes during to this during our the welded chain types. And basically the heavy weights is comes. This will be joined from this the one by one. And for this will be the heavy weight. The heavy weighted is the comes. And also this will be difficult to transfer according to this the manually. And sometimes we have to see in those places you have to hanging this chain, then this will be the required for this the very rigid particles. Either this welded chain is not will be used as that places for the because of the heavy weights. And another thing, the susceptibility to jerk and overloads. And this will be the during to this the heavy weights. And for this the this will be jerking also will be considered. And during to the overload, because the this chain is the maximum load will be carried, and this chain is the heavy weighted. For this will be the difficulties is comes. And another, heavy wear of the links. And sometimes we have to, since the so many link is jointed by this the one by one during to this the manufacture of the welded chain. And this welded chain joint process is the then you have to creating the heavy wire, that like the wire is comes is the very highly. And also the longevity is the less. And another thing is that low shape speed of movements. And basically the when you have to movement is like this the welded type chain is used, then you have to not high speed in highly speed is the given on this the when movement of materials from the one place to this another place due to this the heavy weights. And also the this is the high wear capacity high wear. For this is the no not is the high speed will be maintained during to this the system. For this the low shape speed is given. And during to this the high speed is required. For this type of chain is not used during to this system process. And another things, the sudden failure without previous indications etc. will be here. And this is the welded type joint types is here. And for you have to see sometimes the suddenly fail these systems. And for this will be difficulties is arise during the procedures for this sudden failure case. And another type of chain is here, that like the roller chain. And these roller chain are composed of plates, links, the hinge joints by pins also will be here. The chain may be made with 2 pellets, or for heavier duty with up to the 12 pellets also will be considered. When the roller cell is manufactured, that like the when the lower loads also will be used. And also the lower type of materials also will be transferred during to this one place to the another place. And also you have to hoisting these materials, then you have to use to this the 2 plates leaves. And sometimes you have to consider the higher loads is the transfer. And also the hanging of this your materials during to this high load, then you have to use to this the 12 leaf plates. And these roller chain are used for both hand operated hoist as well as electrically driven equipments like the hoist or wings will be used. And this will be not is the only the manually you have to given or the operated, but sometimes you have to consider according to this the electrically driven is used equipments. And then like the wings at the lifting heavy load as slow speeds about the 15 meter per minute. And the in guided way also will be considered according to this the roller chain. And the roller chain basically is used to this the winch. And sometimes we can see the different type of cranes. And also lifting the heavy duty we can use during the roller chain. And another things you can say, the roller chain are superior to welded. welded chain in many ways, namely in reliability, as link are made from solid plates. And basically this will be the benefited from this the welded chain the different way, and the roller chains have high flexibility in the plane of orientation, hence sprockets of smaller diameters may be used. And this will be different orientations, and different sprockets also will be used, and also this is the smaller diameters, and this will be movement during to the any directions, and not will be the difficulties comes during to this the movement of materials from the one place to this another place, and also you have to hanging your materials properly when you have to transfer this the one station to the another stations, and then this will be the benefits. And another thing is the friction in the joints are also lesser, hence the more efficient. And during to this the friction is come, then also is the friction force will be come during to this the system, but this will be considered according to this the less frictions, and also the this friction joint also is a very less, and also the efficiency will be the very high, and also there is the no loss will be found during to this the due to the friction. And this is the figure we can see the roller chain, and also this the two type of two type of wheels also will be given, and also this is the different type of sprocket also will be available, and this will be created by this the by the rivet knot will be by welded, and this is the small diameter sprocket also will be available, and this will be movement properly, and there is the any directions you can be given the motions, and no difficulties is arise. And another things is comes the steel wire rope and drums, that like the steel wire ropes and drums are extensively used as a flexible lifting media in hoisting machinery. That like this will be basically the hoisting machinery. The major advantage of the using steel wire ropes compared to the chain are the followings. The first is things consider, this is the lighter weight, and the weight is the very much affecting factor, because the when your the equipment weight is high, then you have to transfer your materials, then this weight is the accumulated. This is the very difficulties will be arise, and also the different type of disturbance will be comes, and also the braking is coming. What this will be, your steel wire and rope drums will be the lighter weights, and then you have to very easily transfer your materials properly, and also the knot will be disturbance according to your this equipment weights, and only your the materials transfer materials weight also will be materials weight also will be transferred, and this will be very easy. And another thing, the flexibility of operations, load can be lifted with connecting ropes, making the large angles with the vertical also will be considered. And another thing, the greater reliability of operations also will be found. That like the reliability operations will be comes out during to this the steel wire and ropes, and just like the knot will be reliable, operations will be comes during to the or the chain drive. At least our chain can be the easily failure during to this the any suddenly failures will be come during to this the movement of materials, and these difficulties is not arise nor the steel wire and rope drive, and during to this the reliability operations, and the rope does not gives away suddenly without any notice, and just like the rope is when the rope is away, that's like the rope is breaking, and this will be the break, then you have to give in sudden notice also will be there, because this will be the multi fabrics also is given, that like the one few parts also will be break, and you have to concentrate that this type of rope will be break any times, that like you have to give in a notice. And the outer layers of wire ropes undergo intensive wear and always break from outside, that like the these ropes will be goes outside undergo, and also you have to consider according to this the different type of wear will be come, and also always breaks from the outside, not will be the inside breaks you have to here, and during to this the inside without breaking of this inside, then you have to transfer of materials, then during to this the transfer times not will be the break this rope, and this will be properly transfer your materials, and no difficulties is arise. And another things you can see, this gives prior warning for changing of the rope before complete failures. and this will be laying out the building, and any type of buildings will be given the abolish. Then also you have to consider the this is the first some outside will be disturbed, and the outside will be the break, and also your the concrete will be drop the part by parts, and again these buildings will be the destroyed during to the any type of earthquake or anything. And similarly this ropes given a notice for this before this complete failure, and for this will be awareness will be comes during or the transfer of materials from this the one place to this another place. For this is the not the hazardous environments will be created during to this the transfer of materials, and this is the advantages comes on this here. And another thing is here the wire rope is less susceptible to damage from the jerk, who is a is very common in hoisting operations. And basically the few hoisting conditions you can see the during to this the jerking is come when you have to transfer this materials from this the long distance. Then this will be that the road is the not very good, so during to this the transfer of materials for the different jerking will be found, and also during to this the jerking some abrasion and also the some vibrations also will be creating during to this the jerking, and also sometimes you can see or the materials will be the material is the fall from this from the hanging conditions, and during to this the wire rope is the this knot will be given to this type of jerking is the achieved, and for this will be common, and knot will be disturbing and during to your the ropeway drums, and this will be very easily transferred from the one place to this another place, and this is the not difficulties and the not damage is found from this the from jerk. And another thing is comes that this will be seen to this different ropeway drums will be here, and one is the 6 into 37 is the meter, and also 18 by 12 by 6 on. This is the construction with the fiber core CF, the 8 to 60 millimeter diameter is comes, and another things is here the another is the middle one is the 6 into 17s, and 8 on with the fiber cores, and the CF 8 to 52 millimeter diameter is considered, and another is the third one the 6 into 19s, the 99 one with the fiber core CF 8 to 52 millimeter diameter is considered according to the some still wire drums is found during to these systems. And another thing is the rope drums, and rope drums is the purpose of a rope drum is to store the length of a wire rope on the face of the drum with the rope under the tension from this the weight of the load being lifted can be coiled in by rotationals in the drum, and uncoiled by the rotation the drum is opposite directions also will be here. The life of wire rope is depends on the capital D by small d ratio, and the number of bends the rope has to undergo. The D is the capital D is the drum diameter, and the small d is the diameter of the ropes, and the diameter D of rope is measured over a pair of opposite stands also will be here. The minimum permissible diameters of rope and the drum or pulleys is found from the relations of the capital D is greater than on greater than equals the E1 E2 D, and what the capital D drums pulleys diameter measures over the bottom of the rope groups millimeters, and the small d is the rope diameters millimeter, and E1 is the factor depends on the type of hoisting equipments and its service conditions will be here, and the E2 is the factor depending on rope constructions. It is generally taken to be 1 for cross lay and the 0.9 for parallel lay also will be here during to this the rope drums. And this will be the maximum permissible value for this the factor K and E1, and you can see that this will be the on tables is given that like the on a locomotive caterpillar mounted tractor, and trucks mounted pillars crane including the excavators operating as a crane. And basically this will be caterpillars mounted is the drive is considered according to this the hand drives, and this is the operating condition is the lightweight is the operating conditions, and also factor K is depends on this the 4, and the factor E1 is the equals to 16, and tractors and the track mounted pillar, pillar is also the drive by this the power, and this will be not is the hand power, and also the operating condition is the lightweight is here, and this will be the factor is the 5, and also the factor E1 equals to 16. And another things the crane including excavator, the operator operating as a crane, and this will be considered according to this power, and this is the medium operating conditions, and another thing is the factor K is the 5.5, and also factor E1 is the 18. And another things the crane and hoisting mechanisms at construction site and the temporary jobs is considered. This will be here the power type drives, and also the operating conditions the heavy to very heavy is here, and this will be is the factor of the K is depends on this the 6, and factor E1 is the value is the 20. And another things the all other types of cranes and hoisting mechanisms is considered is the hand power, and another is the power systems also will be here during to the light operating conditions, and another medium and heavy to heavy conditions also will be here, and also the factor K is the 4.5, 5, and 5.5 and 6, and also the factor E1 is here the 18, 20, 25 and 30 is considered. And another thing is there, this is the hand operated wings with the load lifting capacity up to the 1 tons mounted on the various automatic vehicles. Automotive trucks also will be considered according to these power types, and also this will be medium and heavy loads also will be transferred during to this the K factor is depends on the 4, and the E1 factor is the 12. And another thing is there, this will be the diode for this hoisting mechanism of items will be 2 is considered according to this will be the power types, and also this is the operating condition will be the heavy mediums, and also this will be considered is the K factor is 5, and the E1 factor is the 13. And another things is here this will be the pulleys and pulley systems is comes, and sometimes the during to this our the hoisting equipments the some pulley systems also will be here during to your the different pulleys comes in the A, B, C, D, E, and E, and the 5 types of pulleys given here, and also this pulley is used as a hoisting equipments, and these are the different type of pulleys. The fixed pulleys is given. A fixed pulley has an axle mounted in bearing attached to a supporting structure also will be required for this the fixed pulley. And just like that during to the fixed pulley, your materials will be the movement during to these fixed conditions, and this will be here during to a single movable this will be attached, and also the movable pulley, a movable pulley has an axle in a movable block. Suppose that this you can see this is the figure 3. 3 is the C is considered equals to the movable pulley. The movable pulley and axle is a movable blocks. A single movable pulley is supported by 2 parts of the same. And another thing is the compound pulley is required. The compound pulley is considered according to the combination of fixed and movable pulley is considered according to this the compound pulley. Just like the combinations of the fixed and movable pulleys, this will be transfer your materials according to your the commandly. And from this a block and the tackle blocks and a tackle also will be here. A block and tackle can have several considerations. By using the multiple pulley systems, these shortcomings can be avoided, especially in electrically driven wheels or crane. The hoisting mechanisms is here. The load is raised in strictly vertical directions and with the massless tendency of the soil. And another things, with the use of multiple pulley systems, the force acting on the ropes are reduced, and the size of ropes and consequently size of drums can be reduced during to your the multiple pulleys. And basically the multiple pulley is the use the maximum times during throughout the copical systems when you have to pulling this materials during the high loaded materials will be transferred during the one place to the another place. And the another things that this reduce the size of weights and the cost of entire mechanism. Multiple pulley system is required, and the load is hung from the more than one pulley mounted on a common shaft also will be here during to the load is the hung during to the system. And another things is here during to the mounted on the common shafts. And suppose that this is the figure is the multiple pulley systems will be given during to the multiple pulley systems, and also this is the transfer of materials through this multiple pulley system. Another things is you can see the arresting gears and brakes. And in hoisting equipment, use of arresting gears or brakes is of the paramount importance to prevent the raised loads from the getting the load of its own weights. When the raising effort is withdrawn, arresting gear is used to hold the load lifting by wings. And basically the common type of arresting gears are the powell and ratchet mechanism, and the roller ratchet mechanism also is here. And the powell and ratchet mechanism is here. During to this the powell and ratchet mechanism, that is the ratchet gearing, this comprise of ratchet wheel and powell. The ratchet teeth can be arranged external or the internal to the wheel, and the teeth are so designed that the ratchet wheel runs free over the powell when the load is being raised, but the powell gets engaged with ratchet tooth when the ratchet wheel tries to rotate in opposite directions. The lowering directions of loads also will be here, and during the lowering of load, the powell has to be kept the deliberately away from this the ratchet path. And this powell and ratchet mechanism. And another thing is the roller ratchets is here. The roller ratchets or the roller class is used as a arresting gear in the combination with the brakes, and the brake are used for the dual purpose of holding the suspended load at the rest and for controlling the speeds of lowering of the loads. And basically this will be the controlling of speeds, and like the how you have to control the speed during toward the roller ratchets is the used. And this will be transfer your the materials from the one place to the another place. Then also will be required for this the speeds control. Some of these brakes are to be operated, so in the some or automatics also will be here. And another things, the operated brakes including the shoe, band, cone, disc brakes also will be mounted to this. That's like the operated brakes including the shoe is used during toward the roller ratchets, and the bands will be used. And another things is the centrifugal brakes, and the centrifugal brakes will be used during to the centrifugal force is applied, and the brakes applied by weights of the load are the automatic types. Like the another thing is considered according to this the actuations of the operated brakes may be through pulling a handle or by pressing a pedal, which are turned as mechanical brakes also will be here. And you can see the powell and ratchet mechanism is here, and this will be on powell, and also the ratchet which will be given, and also the shaft also will be rotated, and also the ratchet wheel also will be rotated and given to this the powell will be touched on this the ratchet wheel, and this will be movement also will be found during to this. And the next classes are discussed to this the load handling attachments. Thank you, students.